Hello, good morning. I'm Joy. I'm going to share a part of my journey with you today. Please excuse me if I don't pronounce my R's and L's or don't use the proper pronouns, preposition, and conjunctions. Some of them are done exist in Mandarin. So I see myself a very lucky and blessed person. I grew up in Taipei City, Taiwan. My parents weren't very wealthy, but they worked hard to support the family and help me finish my nursing training in the college. After college, I worked as a nurse in a large medical center in Taipei. As a nurse, I make decent paychecks, which afford me some luxuries in life, such as eating out with friends, taking vacations in different countries, buying things I wanted, not needed, or pursuing a public beautiful body image. For example, diet pills and skin whitenings are very expensive. At the time, I see myself as a pretty successful young woman. As time passed by, 6 years later, I still filled up my life with a big city excitement, but I didn't have the same satisfaction with myself. Lots of my college and colleagues and friends were getting married and starting a new families. Some of them were focusing on their careers. Some of them are getting higher educational achievements. Seems like everybody was heading toward some society common goals. I didn't have a boyfriend, didn't feel any passion for any academic studies, or wasn't sure if nursing was my life career. I was worried. I was afraid to be a loser who didn't make the society expectations. In a trip to Nepal, I met a lady who studied abroad in her late 20s. She inspired me. I realized that it wasn't too late to do it. I remember the excitement of seeing another option for life. So in 2003, I came to Canada. I picked Canada because of Anne of Green Gables. I was looking for the scenery from the TV show, but I landed in Castlegar. The first thing I learned about Canada was that it is a really big country, and there was no red brick house on this side of the country. People are very friendly, helpful, and very supportive. However, just like most of international students, I faced a language challenge, language barrier and cultural shock. One of the cultural-related challenge I had was that in here, Canada, nobody had expectation of me. So there's no need to be a skinny, freckless, beautiful young woman. Or it was fine if I didn't get 100% on my exam. I was lost and had to learn to set up my own goals and find a direction for myself. Between the campus and the room I rent, I stayed within a very small social circle. Even though I was in Nelson, a town far away from home with unfamiliar surroundings, I didn't see myself being different from my friends and colleagues in Taiwan. I still desired for a love relationship, studied hard for English diploma, and wanted a job/career in the near future. I was on the same path with them, but just in a different part of the world. After I graduated from Selkirk I got a job as an in-room dining server in a large hotel in Banff. I had lots of young co-workers who came from many different countries. They came to Canada to experience life and have fun. They weren't seeking for careers or higher paychecks. They always had the parties to go to. Every day was someone's birthday, the first day or the last day of the work or a visit. And usually they have a couple of drinks more than they should have and couldn't make it to work. Often, I was the person who got called to work when they were absent. I admire their energy and ability to enjoy life, but disagree with their work ethic. Especially, I was the victim of their fun time in Banff. It was tiring and frustrating. However, meeting those young people planted a seed in my mind that not everyone is looking for the same society common goals. 18 months later, a manager position came up. I took the job. Now I finished my hotel management diploma in English, had a steady boyfriend, and worked as a manager in one of the largest hotels in Banff, a world-famous town, I was very happy to tell my family and friends about it. I felt my future was bright and hopeful. As a manager, I gave most of my energy to work. I picked up new duties such as maintain the department budget, inventory, staff scheduling, and so on. The most challenge was to fill out each shift with a trained employees and maintain a certain level of service in the hotel. In the last 2 months I worked as a manager, I was training new employees each week. Meanwhile, I didn't have time to spend with my partner. I came home from work every day, feel beaten and exhausted. I felt sorry to be in the amazing Rockies, but didn't have time and energy to enjoy it. 6 months as the manager, I was burnt out. When my partner asked me to go to Yukon, I agreed with him without hesitation. I was pretty surprised that I gave up the beautiful title job so easily and quickly. In 2008, we packed our stuff and left Banff for Dawson City. I had learned that Canada is a very big country, but being in Yukon was beyond my imagination. I didn't know what life will like in Dawson City. The first person we met was a farmer, John. We were working with him. We worked for him on his farm in exchange for room and board. John's farm was 20 kilometers away from Dawson City. It takes 2 canoe rides to reach in the summer, or an easy walk when the Kondai River is frozen in the winter. John's passion is growing trees that are able to survive in the harsh weather up north. He built his own farm and house. He grows vegetables and sells them at farmers market. John is a very talented farmer as well. He grew the most delicious cabbage I have ever had. There's an apple tree in one of his greenhouses that has 13 different kinds of apple on the same tree. It was an eye-opening for me to be on John's farm. There was no running water or very limited electricity from a generator. We lived in the small cabin. We used an outhouse. We washed ourselves with water from a creek. What else? So I don't remember. I grew up in Taipei, a city of 2 million. I never grown anything in my own, but I learned how to pollinate, transplant, remove weeds, harvest vegetables, and eat the fruit straight out of the plant. I don't remember how I survived those 2 weeks, but in the end of 2 weeks, I was so proud of myself and thinking, this might be the end of the wildlife in Dawson City. No, it was just a starter. After we left John's farm, we got married in Whitehorse. When we returned to Dawson City, we tried to sort out our life. We stayed in a tent at the campground across Yukon River from Dawson City. There's a large ferry to transport people and cars. I got a job as a housekeeper server in town. Every morning, I remember the discomfort of waking up in the damn cold tent and try to get dressed in a small space inside. I had very bad eyesight. I wear my glasses or contact lenses. One morning, I tried to wash my contact lenses with the water from my water bottle. I broke one of my lenses due to my stiff finger caused by the low temperature and the cold water. I was blind. My husband fixed a pair of old glasses for me, and he was joking that now I was a truly Canadian who wearing a pair of glasses fixed with duct tape. Later on, we met a lovely couple who let us stay in their cabin, which was across the river from town up to a hill you can reach by a washed out gravel road. The cabin was 1 kilometer up the gravel road. There was no electricity or water, but had wood stove. We collected rainwater to wash and clean ourselves, and carried water from town for drinking and cooking. We cooked outside of the cabin with a portable wood gas stove, and and the fridge was a hole in the ground covered by a piece of old plywood on top. We washed ourselves inside of the cabin, and that was our evening entertainment for each other. When it was cold or rained, I learned to cut wood and build a fire in the wood stove to stay warm. There was no need for computer, TV, or any electrical devices. Preparing a meal, cleaning up, staying warm, and bathing ourselves filled up our evenings. I had an interesting thought that when people need to build up a fire to stay warm, they don't need computer games, video games, or TV shows. At the end of summer, the day got shorter. On the mornings that I need to go to work early, I rode my bike down the rough gravel road in the dark. It was cold too. The temperature went down to 0, and small sheet of ice built up on the road. With my little bike light, I couldn't see too far. The inky darkness, the sound of the wind blowing through the forest, the fear of the cold air, the fear of running to the wildlife, and the worry of crushing myself in the dangerous road surface threatened me each trip to work in the morning. And after all of this, I still need to cross the river by ferry. In this challenging environment, I discovered my capability of living in a different lifestyle. Even more surprisingly, I enjoyed the simple lifestyle. I didn't have too many desires. Being warm, dry, fed, and having a comfortable bed to sleep at night simply made me happy the entire time I was in Dawson City. While I was in Dawson, I learned about the Kandai Gold Rush. In 1897, the news of the gold in Kandai region spread to the world. At the time, the challenges to reach Kandai area included remote distance, rugged mountainous terrain, extremely cold weather. In addition, all the gold seekers were required to bring 1 year's supplies with them by the Canadian authorities. With all this hardship, there's still hundreds of thousands prospectors heading to Dawson City area. Less than half of them reached Dawson by next year, while others disappeared on the road or returned home. There were many stories that people gave up everything to hunt a dream miles away. I was inspired by people who take chances and risk their life to pursue their dream and created a piece of human history. Besides meeting unique people like John, learning the joy of simple life, and being inspired by people who take great chances to pursue their dream, the amazing northern scenery, the powerful wilderness, and the long daylight hours were valuable and taught me to appreciate life more. I realized that a successful life is not only accomplished by reaching the society common goal, the capability of making different environment home, the commitment to the love and passion, the willingness to meet the great challenges are different ways to approach successful lives. When I left Dawson City, I feel refreshed. I had a peace in my heart. I feel my life was just enriched by this wonderful experience. Surprisingly, I struggled to share the experience with my parents and friends back home. One day in a phone call with my mom, I was so excited to tell her what I have done and learned in Dawson City. She listened quietly. She couldn't understand why I left home to a more developed country for a harder life. When I told my friend that I took 2 canoe rides to reach John's farm, they couldn't imagine using a canoe for transport and not for pleasure. Furthermore, when I see my friends in their success, I couldn't help myself to wonder, maybe my decision was wrong. Maybe I should have stayed in Banff, working for the manager position, or I should study for a university degree. Those conflicts disturbed the peace I had, and are always going to happen. However, I had learned what to do when those conflicts occurred. I review my diaries and remind of myself how many things I have done. I review all my pictures and remind myself how many beauties I have seen. I record the bike ride I had in the dark, cold morning and remind myself how brave I am. I take a walk to see the blooming flower and feel the warm sun on my shoulder. All those things help me to find the peace in my heart again. After the first visit to Dawson City, we returned for 3 more summers. The experience being in Canada and Dawson City helped me to become the person I am, the person I really like and enjoy to be. Thank you.